Let's come on down into active rest. Bringing the soles of the feet to the mat. Let's nestle the shoulders into the mat. Feeling the sacrum grounded on the mat. Closing the eyes or just softening the eyes, softening the jaw. It's so important to take these moments, either during our practice or throughout the day, to just regroup for a moment, recenter, reconnect with our ground. So let's begin to take some deeper Ujjayi breaths, making that ocean wave sound with the breath. And feeling that life-giving breath just flow through the body. Let's notice, as always, if there are any areas that we want to give a little extra TLC to through our practice today. Remembering that you are the expert on your body. So you can decide if you want to push yourself or take a modification or sit something out. As we continue these deeper Ujjayi breaths, let's now begin to draw the abdominal muscles down and in with the exhales. And on the inhale, just allow them to gently spring back. And we'll continue to tone them with these deeper exhales, pulling those abdominal muscles down and in. Let's continue these deeper Ujjayi breaths, still toning the abdomen with the exhales. And let's begin to feel the feet, activating the soles of the feet. And we'll begin some marching movements. So let's lift one foot up to tabletop and then press it down again. And then the other side, lifting the whole shape of the leg and pressing it down, pushing that foot into the mat. Let's go back and forth. The leg that's down on the floor is working just as much, if not more, than the leg that's lifting, because we're actively pressing it into the mat. And we'll actually work a little harder if we don't bring the leg all the way up, because that way we're asking the core to hold the whole shape of the leg and the weight of the leg without bringing it all the way up over the pelvis. So if you want to work a little harder with our core warm up here, don't bring the leg up so far. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Then let's bring both legs up into a tabletop position, bringing the knees right over the pelvis now, bringing the palms down at our sides and walking the shoulder blades together just a little bit. From here, we'll do some toe taps, dropping one big toe down to touch the mat, then bringing it back up, and then the other one. And let's just alternate today. Let's go back and forth as one toe goes down, the other one comes up. Let's continue using those deeper Ujjayi breaths, continuing to draw those abdominal muscles underneath the rib cage while maintaining this neutral spine. And let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing both legs up into our tabletop position. Let's reach the arms up overhead so they're just right up over the chest, and root the shoulders toward the mat. As we inhale, let's arc the arms up over the crown of the head. And as we exhale, let's arc them back down so that the pinky side of the hand touches the mat. So we'll inhale, reach those arms up and away, and exhale, arc them down. So we'll feel the core working here to hold us steady as we move the arms. See if you can maintain that neutral shape of the spine. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. And let's bring the soles of the feet down to the mat. Turn the palms down, so palm side is connecting with the mat. As we exhale, let's peel up, lifting head, neck, and shoulders off the mat. Take a breath here, scooping those abdominals down and in, and then lower slowly down again. With an inhale, let's reach the arms up over the crown of the head. As we exhale, let's bring the arms forward and lift, peeling up. So we're reaching toward the shins. Take a breath here. Then roll on down. With an inhale, reach those arms up overhead. Exhale, roll up. Take an inhale here. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, the arms overhead. Exhale, roll on up. Pause on the inhale. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, reach with the arms. Let's do a few more of these. Finding your flow. Not using momentum. One more. As we roll up this time, let's hold here and let's press like we're slapping the surface of some water with the palms. Let's breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In and out. One more breath. Roll on down. Reach the arms out wide to either side and just rock the knees side to side, massaging the sacrum. And rocking back to center, we'll continue on our way to the 100, bringing the palms back into our sides. We can either keep the soles of the feet on the mat, just like we did before, or lift the legs into our tabletop. Then let's peel up, lifting head, neck, and shoulders, and continue our 5-part breath. As we're continuing this movement pattern, we can keep the legs in tabletop, or we can experiment with extending them out. If we get bored, we can bend and straighten the legs. Or if we just like the way that feels. Let's do 3 more breaths. Maybe lifting up a little higher, scooping those abdominals in, peeling those shoulder blades up off the mat. Last one, lift a little higher. And gently, slowly, come on down. Reach those arms out wide. This time, let's tip the knees to one side and pause there, taking a nice deep stretch through the side body. And then roll to the other side, rolling across. Taking a deep breath there. Both shoulder blades on the mat. And then coming back to center, let's locate our ball or our little pillow, whatever we've got here. And let's bring it into our hands. Let's bring the legs up into our tabletop position. Then we're gonna lift head, neck, and shoulders. We're gonna draw the right leg a little closer and pass the ball underneath, and then switch and pass the ball underneath. So bring one knee closer, stretch the other leg out, lift a little higher, reach a little farther with the legs. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's set the ball down just for a moment, bringing the knees in close to the belly, and let's rock from side to side here, massaging through the back. Then rocking back to center, let's take our ball or our pillow and place it between the ankles. So we want to maintain the same distance between the knees and the ankles. We're just hugging in a little bit through the lower leg as we bring the legs into tabletop. Let's reach our arms up directly over the chest, rooting the shoulders toward the mat. We're going to reach the arms and legs away and then return to our tabletop position. So reach away and return. The whole time as we reach away, we want to maintain that natural curve of the spine so the spine is completely neutral. If we want to work a little harder, let's lift head, neck, and shoulders off the mat and continue reaching away, drawing in. Keep scooping those abdominals under the rib cage. Imagine you're pulling your lower ribs toward the pelvis. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. Let's release the ball. Place it down at our side. Arms reach out at our sides, and let's just circle the pelvis dreamily. Just massaging that whole area around the sacrum and the lower back. And let's change direction. And circle our way back to center. Let's bring our arms in close to our sides, palms down. Bring the feet hip distance apart, and then scoot them away just a little bit farther from the torso. We're going to root down through the sole of that left foot and the palm of the right hand. So it's almost like we're going to try to do bridge by pressing into our right palm and our left foot. A lot of energy there. Then let's stretch our right leg out long on the mat. Engaging those abdominals, we're going to lift this whole right leg right up over the pelvis and lower it down again. As we lift and lower, we really want to feel that right arm working. You might feel that all the way up to that right tricep, and feel the whole sole of that left foot pressing strongly into the mat. So feel those hamstrings energize. Let's do 3 more. Nice and slow. Keep the legs straight. Good. 1 more. As we bring this right leg up over the pelvis, let's clasp our hands behind the back of that right thigh, soften through the shoulders, and let's push upward through that right heel, and then flex or point the foot, then push with the heel, back and forth. Then let's bring the sole of that right foot down just beside the left. Palms come back down at our sides. We'll start to press into the left hand and the right foot as we bring that left leg up to the sky. And let's slowly lower and lift. If we want to play around with this side and get a little fancier, we can push through the heel as we lift the leg and then point the toes as we lower the leg. Imagine you've got this corset around the lower ribs, so everything is just hugging in to center. Keep that energy in the sole of the right foot. Feel all 5 of those right toes, even the pinky toe, pressing into the mat. And let's do 3, 2, last one. Beautiful. As that leg comes up, let's clasp the hands behind the back of that thigh, soften through the shoulders. Let's push through the heel and then point with the toes, back and forth. Then let's bring the sole of that left foot down to the mat. Let's reach the right leg up. Arms come down to our sides, getting ready for hip circles. We can keep the sole of that left foot on the mat or slide the left leg out long. Let's reach this right leg in, down, around, and up. As we circle this right leg, let's push into the left heel or the sole of the foot if that foot is on the mat. If we want an added challenge, instead of keeping the palms at our sides, we could cross the arms over our chest. I tend to use my arms in this pose to provide stability for the torso. So for me, I notice right away when those arms aren't helping, I've got to use more core control. Let's change direction, making as big and smooth a circle as we can while holding the torso steady. Two more big circles. One more. Then let's bring this right knee in close, clasping the hands over the top of that right shin, pulling the thigh in, and then rocking that right thigh from side to side. Let's bring that thigh back to center, placing the sole of that right foot on the mat. We'll reach the left leg straight up to the sky. The right leg can stay here, or we can slide it out long on the mat. And let's begin our circles. In, down, around, and up. Again, those arms can stay in at our sides, or we could fold them over the chest, in which case we might be surprised at how much we have to modify our circle or bring it in a little bit without the arms adding that stability. This way our core has to work harder to maintain that stability. We can get a similar effect with the arms at our sides if the fingertips are on the mat. My ego likes that better because then I can keep that big circle. Let's change direction. Want to find the place that we are working. You know what that is. I know what that is for me. Let's do 3 more. Big, smooth circles. And let's bring that knee in close, clasp the hands over the top of that shin, and rock that hip side to side. Coming back to center, let's bring both knees into our tabletop position. And let's reach our arms up to the sky, right up over the heart center. From here, let's reach the right side limbs away from each other. Inhale, exhale, return. So we'll inhale, reach, exhale, return. As we move this right side, if we want to work a little harder today, we can press the left hand into the left thigh. Feel how that immediately charges up the core a little bit more. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides. Left side, reach away and return. Boy, that's a brain teaser. Again, if we want to work a little harder, we can press that right hand right into the center, the right thigh. 2 more. 1 more. Coming back into center, let's place the soles of the feet on the mat. Reach the arms out wide and just rock the knees a little ways, side to side. I'm gonna do one more thing, just like we just did. So let's make our way back to tabletop. Arms come up right over the heart, shoulders down the back. This time we're gonna move the opposite limbs away. So let's do the right leg and the left arm, reaching, returning. So as we move these opposite limbs away, our added challenge, should we choose to accept it, is to press the right hand into the left thigh. 4, 3, 2. Last one, hold it out, really push the hand into the thigh and the thigh into the hand. Then bring it in, bring everything down. Take a resting breath. Let's come on back to tabletop with our legs, arms right up over our heart. And let's move the right arm and the left leg away now, reaching on the inhale, returning on the exhale. We can add that challenge of pressing the left hand into the right thigh and the right thigh into the hand. Keep hugging those abdominals under the rib cage. 3, 2, gorgeous, you guys. 1 more. And bring it down. Reach the arms out wide. Rock the knees gently from side to side. And coming back to center, let's bring our right leg in close. Clasp the hands behind the back of that right thigh. Stretch the left leg out long. As we exhale, let's lift head, neck, and shoulders. We're gonna push that right leg away to roll up. Yes, we are. And then roll slowly down with control. Nice. So we're using this leg to push away to roll up and using that to support as we slowly lower down. Now, this definitely warms you up. I love now I see the people on Zoom also removing their layers. I already had to do that. That's a very good sign. Let's do 1 more. As we come down, Let's draw this thigh in close. We've still got our hands clasped behind the back of the thigh. We're then going to straighten the whole leg up to the sky and slowly bend, pulling the thigh in closer using our arms. Let's do 3 more. Extend, pushing into the hands, slowly bend. 2 more times. Little isometric work. So we're offering some resistance to the leg through the hands. 1 more. And let's release, bringing the sole of that right foot to the mat. We'll bring the left leg in and clasp the hands behind the back of that thigh. Then stretch that right leg out long. On an exhale, let's start to push the leg away, peel up, lifting head, neck, and shoulders, curling up, and then slowly rolling down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Don't do like I just did, where I just clunked down. Use control, go slow, slow, slow. Not only building core, but building that suppleness in the spine. This is the kind of hard work that really pays off. When we build our core strength, it builds tone throughout the whole body. Let's do 1 more. And as we roll down, we'll keep hold of that thigh and then stretch that right leg up to the sky against the resistance of the arms, and then pull that thigh in closer, resisting that pull a little bit with the hands. So stretch it up and pull down. 2 more. And 1 more. Nice. Then let's bring the sole of that foot down to the mat. Let's locate our ball again. Hopefully it didn't go too far. We'll bring it into our hands. Let's reach one leg up to the sky, stretch the other leg away for scissors. So let's peel up, lifting head, neck, and shoulder off the mat. Reach that ball underneath the leg, and then switch. Reach that ball underneath. Switch, switch. Back and forth. Let's keep those feet really active. Pressing with the balls of the feet as we peel those shoulder blades up just a little higher. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set the ball down, bring the knees in close to the belly. Give yourself a big hug. Rock a little side to side. And let's make our way up into a tabletop pose. Pressing our way upward. Going onto all fours to tabletop. It's completely great if you want to do this with the forearms on the blocks instead. But let's find that neutral spine where the hands are right underneath the shoulders and the knees are right under the hips and the legs are straight out behind the knee. So the feet aren't turning in or out. Let's do a little cat-cow from here. Inhaling to arch and exhaling to round the back. I did turn the heat off for you guys in the room and me. I know, I still got the fan on to circulate the air, but it won't get any hotter. Making our way back to a neutral spine. Let's stretch our left leg out behind us so we're touching down with all 5 toes on that left foot. Let's make sure the hips are staying very neutral. So for some of us, that might mean rolling that left hip down toward the mat again. Let's reach our right fingertips forward so the right pinky is on the mat out in front of us. From here, we're going to lift the opposite limbs and then touch down again. So a lift and lower. As we lift that leg, we want to keep the torso completely neutral. So we're training the core to stabilize the lower back. The added benefit of keeping that hip rotating downward is that we start to work into the glute muscles. There's plenty of ways to get a good hip stretch, but here we want to get those glute muscles firing up. Let's do 2 more. And coming down to hands and knees, let's stretch out either into child's pose or a puppy pose, taking 3 or 4 deep breaths right into the back. And scooping up through the heart, let's inhale our way back up to tabletop. Breathing here, finding our way to a neutral spine. Take a look back at those toes, make sure that they're being good, not pointing in or out. Then let's take our right leg back behind us, touching down with all 5 toes, rotating that hip down, and reaching the left arm forward so the fingertips of the pinky side touch the mat. Then let's start to lift and lower. Nice. So we're keeping the core drawing in and up. That way we're not gonna wobble it all through the torso. We're keeping that very neutral and still. See if you can keep those right glute muscles charged up the whole time. So you feel a lot of energy in those right glutes. It's also going to help us out if we press into the mat with those 5 toes on the left foot. Get those toes activated. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down, child's pose or puppy pose. Keep the deep breaths flowing. That'll keep our metabolism up, keep our circulation going. And then let's rise on up, back to our tabletop. Again, feeling free to use those blocks under the forearms. And we'll take our ball and let's bring it to the crease of the left knee. So we're hugging it in between the left calf and thigh. Once we get that going, let's bring that left knee up so the knee is about level with the hip. So we want to keep rotating that left hip downward, and then we'll do tiny pulses up. As we lift up, let's also hug in with the calf. This is where all my memories of snowshoeing over the weekend come right back to me. You guys keep going. I have to stop for a minute and stretch that out. Oh, wow. So good. How about 5 more? 5, 4, 3. Don't lower that knee. 2, 1. Bring it down. Not fair. Let's take 3 breaths in child's pose. I'm receiving objections from the in-studio crowd. I know, I think this was the pose that told me I had hamstring muscles. I'm like, oh my gosh. Let's press back up. Let's do the other side. We'll see if this side's any better. We'll bring that ball into that nice crease between the calf and the thigh. Then let's lift up. So it's nice that I could stop and look a little closer because we don't want to lower the knee any lower than the hip. We want to keep that knee lifted. Keep the hip neutral. As we pulse upward, we're also squeezing in with that thigh. Notice the tendency to just drop out of the abdominals. Hug them in and up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring that out. And I'm gonna guide you guys in a little stretch, which felt really good to me. So instead of coming down, let's stretch our right leg out behind us, pressing onto the ball of that foot. Then we'll just lean back through the heel and take a couple of breaths just like that. You can also lean forward and back if that feels good to add a little movement. Let's keep the breath flowing. Bringing that right knee down to the mat. Let's do the other side. So reach that left leg back, press into the ball of the foot, and then just lean back into it. Or ease yourself forward and back to massage into those muscles. The deep breaths will help us out as well. Let's bring it in, returning to our tabletop. Let's take that ball to the left side again. Then let's lift it up to about hip height, and then we're gonna open the hip out to the side. So the knee and ankle are the same height. Good. Then let's draw the knee forward toward the bicep and reach it back around as if we're trying to touch the heel to the opposite glute. Forward and back, go slow. Beautiful, Allison. See if you can keep your arms really steady, everybody, nice and even. Press into the pads of the fingers. Then we're going to take that left knee and point it directly out to the side. Lift and lower. Little teeny lift, teeny lower. Squeeze the ball. Lift and lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring that in. Little different stretch this time. Let's take our left foot forward. Ooh. Reaching forward through that front heel. And drawing the knee a little closer, or the forehead a little closer to the knee. That's perfect. Good. Nice deep breaths. And let's gently walk out of this, returning to our tabletop. And bringing that ball into the crease of the right knee this time. I'll turn this way. Once we get that in there, let's bring the knee up, level with the hip. Then we're going to tip it open, opening up through the hip, still squeezing that ball, and bring that right knee forward toward the shoulder, and then wrap it around, heel toward opposite glute. Let's inhale forward, exhale back. See if we can get the toes on the left foot activated. Neck is a neutral extension of the spine here. So imagine you're pressing forward through the crown of the head just a little bit. One more. Then let's bring this right knee directly out to the side and little tiny pulses up. Squeeze that ball, up, up, up. Hug into those left side abdominals, those obliques. Lift them up 2 for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Let's remove the ball. And we'll guide this right leg forward. Coming onto that right heel. And releasing the torso out over that right thigh, forehead toward the knee. Deep breaths, looks good. Deepening the breath even more. Let's gently float this leg out and back. Returning to our tabletop. Once we get there, let's plant the hands, getting ready for a downward facing dog. So let's curl those toes under, and on an exhale, press our way up into down dog. Let's walk the feet out, bending one knee and then the other. And then bringing those knees back down to the mat. Let's return to our tabletop position. And from tabletop, let's come down onto our forearms on the mat. Let's clasp the hands out in front, making sure that the elbows are right underneath the shoulders. Then let's walk the feet back into a forearm plank. And let's bring the knees to lightly touch the mat. So there's just a little bit of energy in the knees, a lot of energy in the toes. From here, let's soften the heart without moving the shoulders, letting the heart move closer to the mat. Then with an exhale, push into the forearms and pull the torso back up. Let's do that a few times. Soften through the heart. Exhale, push back up. 2 more. 1 more. Then we're gonna lower slowly all the way down, however we wanna get there. Making a pillow for the head with the hands. Rest the forehead there. Bend the knees and just rock those knees side to side. And coming back to center. Let's stretch the legs out behind us. Bringing the forearms underneath us. Let's clasp those hands again. Drawing the shoulder blades down the back. Let's curl the toes under, and on an exhale, push back up into our forearm plank. So this time we can either bring the knees down or not bring the knees down. Same thing, lower the heart toward the mat. Exhale, push it back up. Snug those shoulder blades down the back. Scoop those core muscles in and up for 3. Don't let the belly drop. 2. Last 1. And bring it all down. Come all the way down to the belly. Make that nice pillow for the head again. Bend the knees. Rock those knees side to side. Can you guys tell when I've spent part of my weekend with Zaina? I always learn all these new things. They're so devious. Let's rock the knees back to center, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders. Let's press back again into child's pose. And just take several deep breaths. Just letting the back round. Feeling the breath expand into the back side of the body. And let's slowly, gently make our way back down onto our backs. When we get there, let's bring the knees in close to the belly. Give yourself a hug. Little rocking side to side. Then let's bring our arms into a goalpost position. On an exhale, bring the knees over toward one elbow. Inhale, center. Exhale, knees over toward the other elbow. Inhale, center. Let's go back and forth. The most important thing is the breath. I bet you can exhale just a little bit more fully. Nice. One more to each side. And coming back to center, let's place the soles of the feet on the mat. Bring the hand to the lower belly and just tip the pelvis side to side, massaging the sacrum. And then gently rocking back to neutral. We can take our Shavasana pose right here in active rest, or stretch one leg out long and then the other. Palms can stay on the belly or turn up at our sides. Either way, let's invite the heart to be open. Just letting the body melt into the mat. Let's bring the awareness back to the heart. Taking some slightly deeper breaths right into the heart center. Wiggling the fingers and the toes. Taking time to stretch a little if that feels good to you. Take a moment to consciously regroup, recenter, centering right here in the heart. And let's gently make our way to one side, coming through fetal pose, using the hands to help, and press our way up. When we find our seat, let's bring the hands to the heart center, closing the eyes, bowing the head to the heart for a moment, softening the eyes, softening the shoulders. May we all have peace, hope, joy, love, and laughter. Thank you all so much for sharing your day.